Hi there, Sean Wilmot. Today we're looking at the Skoda Karoq SUV. Skoda's design team has presented us with a beautifully edgy design which is absolutely perfect for the urban market and the intended buyer of this vehicle, which is either the young urban sophisticate or alternatively the empty nester. Now the way they've achieved that edgy look is to give us a very large Skoda emblem on the front, which flows back very neatly into the sculpted bonnet line that goes all the way from the front to the back. That gives you an image of speed and power, accentuated with this particularly impressive front end grille, which looks fantastic from the front and in fact good from all angles of the vehicle. One of the coolest things about the Skoda Karoq is the amount of information that the car actually communicates through to the driver using the MFD screen that sits right between the tachometer and the speedo. Things like average fuel consumption. I can scroll through to the engine oil temperature. I can fix my speed warnings if I so wish for cruise control. And I've got a variety of other functions and critical information, all of which is very easily accessed with a simple scroll of the right hand thumb. The handling is absolutely sublime. The acceleration is very good thanks to that DSG transmission, this one down here, which gives me the freedom to move around 7 speeds, and I can change that over to a manual sport mode if I wish. So with modern cars it's all about the convenience as far as the driver is concerned in terms of the controls and where things are laid out. And Skoda has got this down to a fine art. Basic controls like the air conditioning systems and everything else are all controlled from here, with one notable exception being this button here on the left hand side. This is the auto start stop disconnect function button. The auto start stop mechanism obviously brings when the car comes to a halt at a set of traffic lights, it will come to a stop and the engine shuts itself off. Some people however find that a little disconcerting, so Skoda has very intelligently put a system in here which disengages that function. That's over here all on its own. Now this is actually showing all the sensors as they're deployed around the car, so that if there is an object in the way, those sensors will pick it up and that will indicate exactly where those objects actually are. There are guidelines on this one which tells me exactly what I'm going to get the bumper very close to by definition of that red line. So if I come close to that red line, the car will send out an audible warning and that will tell me to stop reversing. Now you've got that 110 kilowatt power output and that 250 newton meters of torque, so how do you rationalize that with such a low fuel consumption figure? Well, that's part of the magic of the new TSI engine, which Skoda has put a cylinder deactivation system in place. What this does was basically it will shut down 2 cylinders when the power is not being needed. So if you're cruising quietly and you've achieved your speed limit, that's fine. The engine will sit there and say, you don't need all 4, so we're just going to give you 2 cylinders and you can keep operating. Of course, then when you want to pull out to pass somebody, you need a little bit of extra grunt. The engine wakes up and goes, aha, you want all that power? You can have those 2 cylinders back again. And voila, there's your 110 kilowatt, 250 newton meters right there when you need it. Now the great thing about modern European vehicles is the fantastic efforts that they go through with styling, and nowhere is that more apparent than with the headlight assemblies. Skoda's done a wonderful job with this particular unit. The Skoda has a very, very nice low silhouette profile which is really, really sharp and looks really impressive, but it's also an extremely powerful and forward-thinking light that actually throws out a heck of a lot more illumination than that small little band would give you credit for. So right here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 face lines and 3 crease lines. And that actually really does add an element of class and style to this particular vehicle. But right the way through, and there's not a hint of a break, right even across the fuel flap. How cool is that? And then it comes all the way around to this beautiful sculpted curve right round to the tailgate. It's fantastic. We have this nice wide opening cargo area, which is part and parcel of the Karoq's secret trick. So what Skoda have done is they've basically put in some very neat and handy dandy little pockets everywhere, but they've also included these wonderful row of cargo hooks up here, which are perfect for hanging your shopping bags on. That's brilliant. The swan song, the pièce de résistance, the ability to fit a vast amount of space into a comparatively small area, makes Skoda the particularly clever company that it is. And once you've started using them, you really don't want to go back. And that is part of what makes Skoda such a brilliant modern car company.